What's up, YouTube? I'm working on the car. It's been a long process to get to where I'm even at, working, personal things, whatever. Um, I'll play everything that I have so far leading up to this moment, and then I'll show you where I'm at, and then the next things that are on the list. Take a look. All right, guys, here it is. It's time to start 2.0. We'll get the bumper off, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, what's up? I actually filmed a bunch of this, but I messed something up and I don't have any of the footage anymore, so that's gone. So I'm just throwing this thing up in the air like I've done before. I just throw it on a couple little wheel stands, and that's what we'll do. I'll do that. I apologize for the footage, but it's not really anything you guys haven't seen. Taking a bumper off is not really the most complicated stuff in the world. So I'll do that, and then we'll get back to this, and I'll give you a little view of what I've done with the bumper off now that you've never seen before. I'll show you the air-to-air intercoolers, and we'll go from there. All right, here we go, guys. Check this out. This is what I ended up having to do with the air filters because there's just no room. This is the muffler on this side with the air cooler and air intercooler. Get the filter, and it goes around to the intake of the turbo. Turbo does a little jockeying, comes out, goes into this guy. This guy goes up and in, and then into obviously my intake. So I don't know, they worked okay. They're a little dirty, but they've actually done really well. Not really any issues with water, not really anything at all. They actually worked out well. I don't think that the intake tubing is really, I think it does swallow up some heat from the exhaust, but once all this gets moved to the new setup, I think I'll be able to move some things around, and I think I'll be able to get a lot better air flow for that back here. I just made some a little bracket. It actually bolts to the stock bumper, and you know, whatever. It's nothing pretty. It is what it is, and it works okay. I doubt these filters hurt me really all that much. This car is not a, you know, monster horsepower guy. This was just for I needed something. I had none when I first put it together. Let's scoot under and I'll show you the oil issue. This is why all this has got to come apart. We're dripping off the plug and we're dripping off the filter, and it's really wet. We've got the stock Porsche oil pressure sensor in with my little T setting, my T adapter rather, that feeds the turbos. That's how I feed the gauges on the stock cluster. So we got to take all this down to get to any of that, because you can't touch any of it. It's awful. That's my design, whatever. We're gonna hopefully be able to redo some of this, make it, I don't know, a little more accessible. Again, see, this is the starter. This is what we had issues with before. There's just no room. There's no room for anything. But it's worth it. I like it. So let's get this stuff off and we'll go on from there.
So I've got a heat blanket on this shield on this turbo, and it's 100% in my way. It's kind of a bitch to get off. Two bolts.
All right, check this out. This is my pit of an area that I've been collecting junk forever. I've got to get to this, but I'll show you what I just got. I got an aluminum 5.3 for the car that we're gonna build. We're gonna go slightly Frankenstein style. And what do I mean by that? It means I've got this 4.8 right here. It's like an I think it's like an 09, 08. It's from a van. It's a 58X, which none of the rest of the stuff I have is 58X. So I think I'm gonna take the heads. Don't worry about this intake. That's an LS2 intake that goes to another project I'm gonna do. Taking the heads, the 799 heads, I'm gonna probably just put springs in them. I'm gonna steal the pistons out of this. I've got another set of rods and another crank, and we're throwing that all into this aluminum guy, and we're gonna throw that in the car. And let's see, and then I got a plan for, I don't know, I guess the rest of this thing is pretty much useless to me. I don't even really care about it. I could maybe do a 58X de-stroked 6-liter maybe for fun. I don't know. I have extra stuff for all of that too, and nothing else really going on, so I might do that. I don't really know. I'm on the fence, and that's about it. I mean, I have an extra 6-liter block. I have extra of everything. That's probably kind of disgusting. I need to start throwing shit away, but so that's the plan for that. So I'll get into that soon, and we'll go from there. All right, so check this out. This is what I had for a thought here. We're gonna do an exhaust manifold like this, and then we'll have this part go right to a T4 turbo. That way I can keep these higher and redirect my exhaust flow for the car. Why? Well, I had a lot of piping on the other one, and I don't think it's making them laggy. They spool pretty quick, but I just am trying to eliminate some exhaust. I'll throw up a picture of what the other setup looked like. It exited out the back here, and it does, you know, goes down, does a little loop. I don't want that because I don't want that piping in the way. I'm thinking about changing the turbo setup exactly how they are, but I don't know. This is what I'm thinking. This is just something I'm playing around with. I've got a ton of exhaust manifolds, so this is actually kind of funny for me to hack one up. I don't really care. We'll see what happens. We'll throw it on and we'll see if we can get them to look like something, anything. All right, a little bit of cutting and trimming, and I didn't really come up short, but I will have to fill that because I'm thinking about the pipe coming out down here anyways, so that's really kind of inconsequential at this point. But that's that. Yeah, so I think this is gonna work the way I want it to. I just got to I'll get a turbo, I'll get something from mock-up, and I just need to figure out if I can clear these spark plug lines, and that will be about the only other thing. And then installation might be a little tricky with these bolts, but as long as I can get a wrench on them, I guess it doesn't really matter, right? I could even do a stud on those two, and then just put a nut on them. That would probably work too. Let's do a little more and we'll figure something out. All right, guys, this is I give credit to anybody who actually films their YouTube stuff and, you know, puts it all together and edits it and shows them taking parts off. I started yesterday. I got distracted, and then I got frustrated, and then I was doing a bunch of other things, and I got carried away. And now, as you can see, it's a totally different day. It's actually raining. So this is the whole manifold. I took it right off with the turbo on it. It's probably easier than having to take everything apart anyways. As you can see how crazy my piping is and everything. But I got this guy, which I was telling you about. This is two manifolds that go from opposite sides but face each other, and then I filled in the center, and I'm gonna have I'm hoping a pipe will go from here right to the top of the flange. I don't know if that's gonna work, but we're gonna try it. And if I did that, I would free up all of this piping, which would be, you know, amazing. It would be so beneficial. But you can see how small this little turbo is. This thing, they're funny. They are really, really small. They're fun though. I like them so far. I don't know how they'll do if I had it flowing better or whatever. I don't know if they'll not be able to keep up. But let me put some of this on and I'll see if my mock-up's gonna go the way I want it to, and I'll get back to this. So this is basically what we're looking at here. I made these little brackets when I put it on the other car, so that actually will keep the placement exactly the same. Although that doesn't really matter, because once you spin these, it kind of, these 5-bolt ones kind of get crazy. They'll still rotate the entire thing, so I'll have to cut it off at the flange and then spin it around. But go a little pipe from here up to there. I think that this might work. I got to take this and I'll put it back in the car just the way it is, and we'll see if it'll work in the car like that. If it fits in the car, I think I might go for this. It'll clean up a ton of piping. It'll make this so much neater and easier. All right, that's where I'm at. Let's do this. All right, check this out. We are under the car. Here's my little bracket, my little whatever doodad. Let's see if we can get the flashlight on this. So there's the flange. And as you can see, yeah, those are my coolant lines. I might move some of that. It might turn into partially steel lines. I have not decided, but as you can see, I don't have the manifold in, but that's where it would go. And it looks like there is plenty of room to do it this way, and I would free up all that exhaust. All of it. It wouldn't be in my way. Things would be able to be worked on. I think this is the way I'm gonna go. I will mock something up and we'll see if we can get this figured out. All right, check this out. So I made the manifold and we got the turbo hung back where it was, and all this piping has now been eradicated. Let's see if I can get in here. Oh, I can't really get in great, but look at this. All this piping is now eradicated. There's my flange. This is hard. I'll show this manifold. I think I've shown it before. But this is this, and I actually have these GT35s. Yeah, I know they're powder coated yellow. I don't really care. I have these laying around. I'm actually curious to see if they'll fit inside of here. This frame is smaller, obviously, but honestly, the internals are not that much different. I think these are 61 62s, or these are 61 62s, and the other guy I got in here is like a I don't know, 51 or something. But let's see if it fits. I don't know, I'm curious. Just popping off this feed line. This is the right size. This one's huge for some reason. I'm not really sure. And this is rather difficult to get at everything in here. I don't really have a ton of room for some reason. I don't know. But oh, this guy's huge. This one's like a 17. Jesus. And this is rather difficult to do while I'm trying to film. We're gonna pull this off. I'll pull the entire thing off as one manifold and everything. Get this bad guy out of the way here. Tuck that up in there. I'll pull off this guy, and then I got 2 bolts left holding it in. I'll pull those out and we'll take the whole thing down to one. All right, we got it off. I'll show you under here. I just noticed that the manifold is actually, you can see how it's like a 3-piece stacked one. That's how the metal ones come a lot. It's hard to see, but it's actually separated from the back pieces. It didn't even look like it was really leaking at all, but nevertheless, it was busted. I checked my plugs and I had a little bit of a funny misfire almost. And I did notice one of the plugs is, it was a little dirty, a little oily. I don't know if it's fuely. The other 3 were like perfectly clean. This thing's either running a little lean on this side, because the O2 sensor is actually on the other side of the car. So it's either running a little lean or it's actually perfect. I don't know, even the timing strap marks look good. I know it's hard to tell when it just drives around, but everything looked good on this side. I don't know. Well, let me move this into another area and we'll keep going from here. Okay, this is where we're at. I've skipped some steps. I had to kind of not rush, but this is taking too long for me. I got to get this done and get everything together, get the car back going again, because I want to drive it. So this is where we're at. It's the AC compressor with the Corvette bracket. Don't worry about this. That's a truck balancer. This is my test motor here. But we got everything all done. Everything's back in. I got the wastegates are on. These are 38 millimeters, one on each side. They do pretty well. No boost creep on this thing, and they worked mint. I think they have a 6 pound spring, 6 or 7 pound spring, I forget which one. And I have a Turbo Smart. No, not a Turbo Smart. I'm sorry. I have an AEM True Boost. And on 50%, I'm getting 14 pounds. And one time on accident on 75%, I got 18 pounds. So I don't know. That's some pretty good range out of a 6 pound spring with just the line to the bottom of these things. So this is it. I'm gonna start throwing everything back in the car. And then I'll show you what it is with the turbos on it. I think I've shown a few pictures of what this kind of looked like mocked up, but or maybe I've shown video, I forget. But that's pretty much where we're at. So now that they're wrapped, we'll throw them back in the car. I'll put the turbos in, we'll get everything finished up, because I gotta still finish the tubing for the intake, and we'll go from there. All right, so I showed you everything so far, and this is where I'm at right now. I have both turbos back in the car permanently, officially. I have the new intercooler set up in at the moment. We've got well, I don't have the fittings on here, and I think I'm probably gonna take everything apart and paint it black. I'm not sure. I have not decided. Let's see, got some more clamps to put on, whatever, or take off. I haven't figured this out. Got one fitting in. So what's left to do now is put the heat exchanger in the front of the car, run all the lines, and plumb it and get the pump going, and bleed it and fill it, and that's it. I mean, we're kind of back to where we were. I know it's been like a whole month. This has been an extremely long process. If you're looking at those two and they don't look totally symmetrical, that's because they are not. The turbos obviously did not end up in the same spot. Let me see if I can show you this. So here we are. There's one turbo, and these are the GT35s I was talking about. There's the other turbo. So you'll notice this one is angled slightly, and it's actually farther back than the other one. I know that's a little difficult to tell at the moment. That's because I do have an AC compressor that goes obviously where the normal AC goes, right there. So I have that. I can put that on. However, that won't be able to get hooked up right now because, well, A, I have to have lines made, and B, somebody who had this car before me crushed the lines underneath the car, which is super annoying. Just carelessness with a jack or a lift or whatever they did. So they're crushed. So they have to be replaced. I'm really not happy about that. Obviously it's a Porsche and not a, you know, a GM truck, so this stuff is expensive. So I either need to source it myself, or I need to I don't know, make something totally new. So this is a whole thing. And yeah, I've been throwing parts in the car. I'm horrible. Everybody's probably cringing at this because it's a Porsche and it's full of fucking shit, but it is what it is. We've got yeah, the air filters I took off. Those are gonna go back on the car in the same configuration. They fit. I know they work. If I need to make an adjustment later on, we will. I've also got a different deck lid. I don't know if I've talked about that. I actually have a, if anybody knows what these aero kits look like, I have a taco wing aero kit for this thing. Not the kit, just the wing, I'm sorry. But it's red. I've got to get that done. I don't even know if it's totally fiberglass. So I don't actually know if you can cut anything out of them. If you cannot, I can't even use it. But if you can cut some of it and maintain some inner structure, then I can use it, because you have to clear my crazy gas intake piping. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, everything, this is it right now. Everything's on. Everything's exactly where it's going to be. Oh, I'm sorry, I need to finish the exhaust system on it too. The mufflers obviously aren't going to fit back where they were, which is fine. I can finally put them where I really want them, if hopefully they fit. That's about it. So been a long road. It's hard when you have a full-time job and this is not your your thing. Oil all over the ground from these turbo drains. I fired the car up with the turbos off just to blow some shit through the exhaust to make sure no weld got in there, and it puked all over the place. Of course, I'm a genius. So, well, that's it. I'll pick this up when I have the other portion of this done. So we'll see you then.